This video is a quick guide to finding the components of a vector. So if we want to find the x and y components of a vector, we have to use trigonometry. So let's look at a classic problem. An object is subjected to a force of 9 newtons, acting at an angle of 40 degrees to the horizontal. Calculate the x and y components of the force. So what we should note here is that the 9 Newton force has some length in the x direction and some length in the y direction. As a result, we can draw this as the addition of two perpendicular vectors. We have the vector fx and the vector fy. So the length of fx will be equal to the magnitude of the force in the x direction, and the length of fy will be equal to the magnitude of the force in the y direction. So, next thing we can do is, given that this is a trigonometric problem, we could just reimage this as a triangle. Now you'll recognize from maths that since we have a hypotenuse, that's one of the sides, and we have an angle, we can use SOHCAHTOA. This triangle has length fx and height fy. So firstly, if we want to find fy, all we need to do is use our trigonometric functions, recognizing that fy is opposite to the angle we've been given, and the 9 newtons is the hypotenuse. SOHCAHTOA, we must use sine. So what we have is sine theta is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. That can be formed as sine of 40 degrees is equal to fy, which is the opposite, divided by 9. When we rearrange the equation, we find that fy is equal to 9 sine 40. Finally, plugging that into our calculator, we find that fy is 5.79 newtons. Next, if we want to find out fx, using SOHCAHTOA again, since fx is the adjacent line in this triangle, it is adjacent to the 40 degrees. Meanwhile, we still have 9 newtons is the hypotenuse. So with the adjacent and the hypotenuse, we're going to be using cos. So we have cos theta is equal to a over h, the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which gives us cos 40 equals fx divided by 9. We can rearrange to get fx equals 9 cos 40, and finally that gives us an answer of fx is 6.89 newtons. In this example, what we've done is we've taken a vector at some angle to the horizontal, and we have resolved it to find its x and its y components.